ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ नारायणः परो व्यक्तात् अण्डमव्यक्तसम्भवम् अण्डस्यान्तस्त्विमे लोकाः सप्तद्वीपा च मेदिनी। This camera, make it little less, very high. So, we are looking at the kinds of objections for the 13th verse of the 5th chapter. The first two objections we have seen and responded, and then as we are going to the next verse, there is the third objection. What was the third objection? A two-part objection. So the third objection is where if it is adhyaropita, adhyaropita means all the karmas belonging to the body-mind sense complex will go in the wake of knowledge. And what about the karmas belonging to the Atma? So the third objection has to do with, is Atma, is action intrinsic to the Atma? Is the status of actor action, and the experiencer of the results of action, these statuses, are they intrinsic to the Atma? In the sense that gacchataha gamanavat. So, when there is a person in motion, the person is running from point A to point B, and then the person stops running, and so this is the jnani like that. So until one had Atma Ajnanam, one was an actor, Atma was actor, And then after Atma Ajnanam, what happened? The Atma stopped becoming an actor. Is it like that? Or what is the other possibility? Atma intrinsically kim va swatah eva atmanah kartritva karaitritvam nasti. Kartritva, bhoktritva, karaitritvam, all this. It's free of making somebody do or doing itself. Which is the better option? So, the Purva Pakshi is asking, giving two options. What is one option? That action must be intrinsic to the Atma. Option number B. What is option number B? Atma, action is extrinsic to the Atma. Remember the story of the Madhyastha. Who is the Madhyastha? The middleman. The middleman in the wedding. Middleman pretending to be belonging to both the sides, either side, and confusing everybody, making off with the loot of all the jewels and money in the cupboards are missing along with him. So, kind of like that, the Kartritva cannot be ascribed to the Achetana, body, mind, sense complex, and the action and the results of action cannot be ascribed to Atma, which is by nature Swabhavatah actionless, Swarupatah actionless. So, where does this action fit? You don't have to make it fit. Why? Because it is Mithya. So, it's like the person saying, does the snake belong to the rope? Or does the snake belong in the bushes? Which snake? Rope snake. What a choice. So snake is not a attribute of the rope. You cannot say the snake is attribute of the rope, because the rope is free of snakiness. When? At all times. No, but the snake came from my head. So can you say that the snake is the attribute of your own head? Is it intrinsic to your own head, your own buddhi? So wherever you see, do you see snake? In place of book, you see snake. In place of mic, you see snake. In place of computer, you see snake. You greet your friend and say, hello, snake. No. So if snake is intrinsic to your buddhi, that means wherever sight takes place, what should be seen? Snake. Does that happen? No. And if snake is intrinsic to the rope, then wherever you see rope, whenever you see rope, what should you see? Snake. That too does not happen. So poor snake, which snake? Rope snake, has no home, no ashraya. Same thing with Kartritva buddhi, Bhoktritva buddhi, Karayitritva buddhi. So, Aham karta iti buddhi. I am the karta, I am the karayita, I am the bhokta. All of them don't have a home. They are like the middleman who cause a lot of havoc, but then when they go away, peace reigns. They neither belong to the Atma nor do they belong to Anatma. In fact, there is no belonging because they are all Adhyaropita. Adhyaropita. So that which is Adhyaropita is what is that? It is Apavadita, it is negated. It is negated. That which is superimposed is a sitting duck for negation. That is the whole idea of superimposition. So then, this is the question. The answer: Atra uchyate nasti atmanah swatah kartritvam karayitritvam cha. He says your second option is correct. Your first option, that the doership is intrinsic to the I, is incorrect. Your second option that somehow you thought of for a change very nicely, what did you say? You said the doership is not intrinsic to the I. That is correct. You are correct. Nothing is intrinsic to the self. There is absolutely nothing that is intrinsic. And so he gives some examples, very nice examples from the Gita and the Shruti. Avikaraha ayam uchyate. Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Avikaraha ayam uchyate. Sharirastha api kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. 13th chapter, I think. So, chapter 2, chapter 13, all over the place, the verses from the Bhagavad Gita are given. So, the quotations are very apt. Avikaryaha ayam atma. Ayam means I am. Atma. So, this I am, what am I? Not subject to vikara, not subject to change. Because to claim myself as the doer, is there a change or not? Yes. If I claim myself, I am, before what I was? Akarta. Why? I was sleeping. Sleeping time, what was I? Akarta. I woke up and started to drink my coffee. And now what am I? Yeah, karta. So therefore, there is a change or not? So therefore, he gives the apt quotation that which is changeless is the Atma. Even to claim oneself as a doer, there is a slight change. Status change is there. So that is what is, Facebook status change. People do this all the time. Suddenly they find somebody and then they fall in love. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the main word is fall. Okay, so they fall in love, and then when they fall in love, they change. I don't know anything about Facebook, okay? I just know face, that's all. So, Facebook apparently, they update the status change. Before, what was I? Single. Now? Yeah, in trouble. Yeah, don't say double. Yeah, from single to in trouble. Okay, don't say double. All right, so status change has happened. That is itself a vikara. That status change is itself what? Vikara. And what is Atma? Avikaraha. Avikaryaha, avikaryoyam uchyate. And then another apt quotation, sharirastha api he kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. So the Atma is what? Sharirastha. Sharire tishtati iti sharirastha. Tishtati iti stha. Jayate iti jaha. Trick question. Jayate iti jaha. Then janati iti jnaha. Don't confuse, okay? Janati iti jnaha. Jayate iti jaha. Like Saro jaha. Saroja. Name, nice name for a girl. And then what else we have? Gacchati iti gaha. Pibati iti paha. Somapaha. Putapapaha. It will come in the 8th chapter. Somam pibati iti somapaha. So these are all cool things to understand. And even if you don't know Sanskrit, you can say, I know Sanskrit, if you just have a few of these in hand. Really, it's fun. You can impress your friends. Okay? So he gives that quotation, Sharirasthopi, Sharire Tishtan, staying in the body, na karoti na lipyate. Magically things are happening. Body is not doing anything. I am not doing anything. Yet eating is happening. 3 times a day eating is happening. Discounting the snacks in between, eating is happening. How is it happening? Magic. This is amazing. This is really, really magic. The Atma is not doing anything. Body cannot do anything. Still action is happening. How? Sannidhi matrena. We saw that in the previous verse. By the presence itself, things are set into motion. How? Because of the swamitvam of the Atma. So, ekaswamikam, we saw that. So, there is a Swami. Who is the Swami? The body-mind-sense complex Swami, as though remaining in the body. Remember, you have to put as though. If you are a Vedantin, you have to start every sentence with as though, end every sentence in as though, and then keep a few as thoughs in the pocket to take out and sprinkle in between. Yes. Because without as though, you cannot as though understand this, okay? So this shariraha, so this shariram is their body, sharirasthaha, sharire tishthan, remaining in the body, na karoti, na lipyate, is not the actor and is not the doer and is not done in by other people's doing either. Na karoti, na lipyate. Sharirasthopi. Very apt quotation, because that's what we are talking about. So there is the swamitvam of the Atma being what? Consciousness, Satchidanandam Brahma. In its presence, everything happens without it doing anything, like even a Raja. We saw that in the previous verse, Navadvare Pure Dehi Naiva Kurvan Nakarayan. So, Sannidhi Matrena, all the things take place. And then one more very oft quoted and powerful quotation from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Swayam Jyoti Brahmana portion. So Brahmana is not Brahmana Kshatriya. Brahmana means chapter. Swayam Jyoti means talking about the Atma as a self-evident, self-lit, self-luminous entity, not borrowing its light from some other entity. That is the idea. Light here is knowledge. So this all-knowing Atma, which is ever present and never comes to an end and is unchanging, is described in this particular Swayam Jyoti chapter, Brahmana, of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And there the famous quotation, Dhyayati iva, lelayati iva. So the person meditates and suddenly all the thoughts come to a stop. And then the thought, and then what is the person doing? What is the person doing? Samadhi. Actually, that sounds funny, doing samadhi. So, samadhi has happened. And then the person says, the thought comes, what a nice samadhi, this is a cool meditation, ooh, wonderful. And then what happened? As soon as you say this is a wonderful samadhi, what happened to the samadhi? Samadhi bhanga took place. Bye bye samadhi. Hello samsara. Okay. And so when the samadhi went bye bye, what happened? You say, I got distracted. Lelayati iva. So which is the reality? The I in samadhi is the reality, or I that was distracted and now I am an actor is the reality? Neither is the reality. This is very, very important. Dhyayati iva. So sitting in samadhi with practicing thoughtlessness, and then that thoughtlessness leads to the practice of thoughtlessness leads to the cessation of time and space, as though one is meditating, doing nitidhyasana, and then some bell rings somewhere, some temple has some puja in the nearby ashram, and then I am out of the samadhi. And what is that? Lelayati iva. Moves. So stillness and movement. And this and silence and noise. Atma is what? If you say Atma is stillness, then we are still ajnanis. Okay? So why? Because stillness is relative to motion, silence is relative to noise. So none of the dvandvas, none of these opposites we have to see as the nature of the I. It is neither still nor is it moving, as though still, as though moving, as though quiet, as though jabbering, on and on. So this is what has to be totally understood and fully followed. This is what has to be followed. And then dhyayati iva. So the distraction is as though. Now I am meditating is also a status, as though. See, now I am not talking, I am quiet. Of course I had to talk to say that, but then that is also as though. Okay, now I am going to start talking, that is also what? As though. Iti shrutehe. This is the ultimate, the cherry on top of the cake is dhyayati iva lelayati iva. It meditates as though, and then it gets distracted as though. Atma is neither the meditator nor is the one that is has the ability to distract. Now, the 14th verse is again a very important verse because it is the inspiration for the introductory bhashya of Bhagavan Bhashyakara to the Brahma Sutras. So the Brahma Sutra opening bhashya is based on the 15th verse. Very, very important to note. Okay, so let us chant this. न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. Together. न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. A small fine tuning of the chanting. Lokasya, conjunct consonant, and then followed by what? Plus lokasya srijati. There is no dvitvam there. The dvitvam comes when it's a simple vowel followed by a conjunct consonant. Okay? Not the other one. Dvitvam means where you kind of stop and repeat or double it. But I hear people chanting as lokasya srijate. Yeah, the sr is what? Is a vowel, right? And so there is no need for that. Lokasya srijate prabhuhu, srijati prabhuhu. There you can stop there. Okay? Together. Na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srijate prabhuhu na karma phala sanyogam swabhavastu pravartate. It's the most famous mistake in chanting. Okay? Yeah. So, let us look at the verse. Did we see the Anvaya for the last verse? No? Yeah, there is really, it is almost prosaic. Navadvare pure dehi, it's the same. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya aste vashi dehi sukham aste. You can do that. Navadvare pure naiva kurvan nakarayan. Vashi and dehi you can put together. And this one, Prabhu na kartritvam, we have to bring in srijati. Na karmani, srijati iti anuvartate. Srijati in brackets. So Prabhu na kartritvam srijati, na karmani srijati. So न प्रभुः लोकस्य न कर्तृत्वं सृजति न कर्माणि सृजति न कर्मफल संयोगam srijati, and then swabhavastu pravartate remains as it is. Okay, yeah. So just to underscore this, we have to underscore the our understanding of the mithyatvam of the status of karta. Status of bhokta karta is not a real entity. It is just an entity as though superimposed upon the Atma, which is always free of superimpositions. And so the as though projection of the kartritvam is being talked about. So then the temptation, if we were to make a connection with the previous verse, the temptation is to ascribe kartritvam to who? Bhagavan. Why? Because that's what we are doing anyway. In Karma Yoga, what are we doing? We are telling Bhagavan, you are karta, naham karta, tvameva karta, you are karta, you please do. And so that can become the reality, because we as jivas are not terribly bright. So one thing we catch on to it, and then the same thing we have to keep doing. So we say, okay, who is the karta? Bhagavan karta. Put it all on Bhagavan. Who is the Karayita? Who is the one who is making me do this? Bhagavan is making me do this. Says who? Pickpocket at the trial. Because I am a Karma Yogi, Bhagavan is making me do this. So if you ascribe Kartritvam to Bhagavan, then there are many, many, many dangers. The perils are too many to list. But we will nonetheless list a couple. After saying there are too many to list. Then, if Bhagavan is karta, bhokta, karta means karayita, bhokta, everything, doer, done in, and then what else? And also causing other people to do, then we are in a big pickle. Why? Because that means I and my nature and the nature of Bhagavan can never be one and the same. Because what have I spent 5 chapters and 13 verses, what have I spent doing? Saying, doing means getting the understanding, I am not a karta, I am not a bhokta. And then if Bhagavan is karta bhokta, then the Mahavakya, Ishavasyam idam sarvam, tattvamasi will become what? Nirarthaka, nishphala. It will become totally meaningless. Why should I equate myself with the Lord who is what? Karta Bhokta. After great difficulty, I have dismissed Kartritva Buddhi, Bhoktritva Buddhi from this I notion. I have dismissed that and I feel much lighter and I feel wonderful, and I am looking around where, there is a game, children's game, pin the tail on the donkey. So I am looking now for a donkey to put this Kartritva tail. This Kartritva, Bhoktritva tail, doership and experiencership, this tail has to go somewhere. I am looking for the donkey. Donkey is Bhagavan. Pin the Kartritva on Bhagavan. That is full of danger. First danger, the Upanishads will become redundant, and not even redundant. The Upanishads will become useless. What is the purpose of the Upanishads? To show the Atma, Brahma, Atma, Aikyam. This Ekatvam to show, that is the thing, the oneness to show between Jiva and Ishvara, that is the purpose of the Upanishad. Throw all the Upanishads into the Ganga. Useless. Then what about Bhagavad Gita that just follows the Upanishads? That also useless. And then so Shastra will become useless. Shastra as a pramana will become dushta pramana. It will become a bad pramana that's not leading me anywhere where I will want to go. Because what is the definition of pramana? Anadhigata, that which I cannot find anywhere. Arthavat phalabodhakam pramanam. So it should have a fruit that is in keeping with the meaningfulness for my own life. It should elevate, enhance, and make me see something that I cannot see any other way. So then the pramana will become dushta pramana, second problem. And then what else? Then the samsara nivritti abhava. So the samsara nivritti will not take place. We will have a prasanga, we will have a situation where samsara cannot go. Why? Samsara is here to stay. Why is samsara here to stay? Because how is samsara banished? By Atmajnana. What is Atmajnana? Brahmatma Ekadrishti, the vision of oneness between myself and Ishvara, is the antidote to samsara. If I cannot establish that vision, why? Because Bhagavan is Karta. Bhagavan is Karta, I am not Karta, I cannot establish that vision. So, what is the third problem? The samsara will not go away. What is the fourth problem? If samsara does not go away, no moksha for me. Moksha will not come as long as samsara does not go. As you see, all these problems we can keep listing, but these four are the problems of ascribing the doership to Bhagavan. Wait a minute. Now I'm all confused. This is too much, because the third chapter I internalized everything. I was a good student, and in the third chapter, Karma Yoga, I rocked back and forth and said, I am not Karta, you are Karta, oh Bhagavan. And I by-hearted everything, and what are you making me do now? This is how Vedanta is. Everything is up to a point. But why did you make me do that? Because without that you could not have come to this stage. Without that we cannot come to this stage. We have to in the beginning, if you tell the person that this kartritva, bhoktritva is like an invisible coat that you are wearing. It is not really there. And what is the person is saying? I need a hook to hang the coat. Arey Baba, it is invisible. It is as good as non-existent. No, but where is the hook? I want a peg, a coat peg to hang this. What kind of coat? Invisible coat. At some point you have to stop arguing with that person because they are still looking for a coat and they are not attending the classes. Why didn't you come to class? Because I didn't know where to hang the coat. Hang the coat of what? Kartritva, bhoktritva, buddhi. That is the invisible coat. This is not really there. It's an invisible coat, I say. If I say it's an invisible coat, you should get it like that. It's an invisible coat, then there is no need to hang it. Whether I am wearing it or not, it doesn't matter because it's really not there. But that's not where the mind goes because the mind is attached to this coat. So, therefore, the person is attached to the coat, even though I am saying it's invisible. Yeah, but I need to give it for wash. I have not washed it in a long time. I am giving it to laundry. And then after that, I'm going to iron this coat. And then I'm going to put some nice dried flowers and store it away. This is the thoughts. So, some place I want to hang this coat, and therefore you give a hanger for this jiva. What is the hanger? Bhagavan. Ishvara is the peg, and you hang this coat of kartritvam, which is not really there. Because the jiva is not ready to accept that it is not really there, some more shravanam is needed, some more understanding is needed, some more ragadveshas need to be managed, some more accommodation needs to take place, some more shraddha has to come. So the interim resolution is what? Hang the kartritva coat on Ishvara. Ishvara, you are Karta, and it is safe because Ishvara doesn't think now it is my coat. No, thank God. Why? Ishvara has no ajnanam, so Ishvara will not confuse this is my coat iti. So therefore Ishvara lends the hand here. Put all the Jiva's coats are there. Ishvara is standing like a scarecrow with everybody's Kartritva coats. Ishvara is the coat hanger for all the Jiva's coats. What is the coat? Doership coat, experiencership coat. So we need an interim place to hold this so-called coat which I have been holding, and you have to pry the coat away from the hands of this stubborn Jiva, and then the only way this childish Jiva will give up the coat is if it is promised it will be safe with Ishvara. See, nobody is taking away your coat. Ishvara has your coat. Okay, Ishvara, all right. You see the purpose of this? Yeah. It serves two purposes. First is, it helps us to grow. It helps us to grow out of this Kartritvam by understanding that which is the source of the universe is also the source of Kartritvam. So I give back the Kartritvam to Ishvara. That is the first purpose it serves. Second purpose it serves is that it gives the freedom from Ragadvesha, because there is a little bit of an inner space between myself and the coat. Coat is with who? Ishvara, safe with Ishvara. So therefore I can see myself without the coat. Without the coat, I find that I am a much freer in my movements. I am a much freer being. Why? Nowadays there is this new concept. It is called a weighted coat. Not a weighted coat, a weighted coat. A weighted vest. What is this? They put weight, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 5 pounds, and then you put the vest on, and then you're supposed to go for a walk. Yes. Yeah, you put this vest on, it's called a weighted vest, and you'll be lucky if you make it out of the ashram, that's all. And then also there are all these rules. You must not go like this, because then back pain will come, all these will come. These are all new ways of exercising. And then before you put the weights on the hands and legs, that is now namby-pamby baby talk, goo gaga in the world of strength training. Now in the world of strength training is what? Weighted vest. Weighted coat. So then it's a vest, sleeveless it will be, and then it will be all weights equally distributed. You're supposed to put your shoulders back and then go like this and walk as though nothing is there. And then this Kartritva Bhoktritva coat is like that weighted vest. Heavy, can't walk, burdened, and then I hang it. With great difficulty I remove it. Oh my God, it's so heavy. But it is invisible, okay? Yeah, and I hang it on Ishvara. The person feels free. With that weighted vest, I could not even breathe. Now I can breathe. I feel free to walk nicely. Ishvara is taking care of everything. This is very nice. Now that Kartritva has been banished from the I, from Atma, we have to do the same on the Ishvara side as well. Otherwise, no Tattvamasi. Upanishad is in danger. Mahavakya is in danger. Jiva is in danger of continuing to remain Jiva. Pramana is in danger of becoming a misleading Pramana. Moksha is in danger of never happening. The only thing that is not in danger is samsara. It will keep on continuing. Do we want this? No. So just like we have done this on the micro level of the individual, that same reality has to be established at the level of Bhagavan also. So therefore your giving Kartritvam to Ishvara is what? As though, very well, very good. As though giving, as though Kartritvam, as though belonging to the I, as though to Ishvara. And Ishvara is Atmagyani or not? Yes? Ishvara, being Atmajnani, is not going to take your coat or anybody's coat for that matter. No coat is really taken, it is just an ascription, a temporary peg to hang this on. For who? For Ishvara, who is also like you, the Atma, free of Kartrutvam. So this is all this. That's why the 5th chapter is so beautiful, because now it is going to go to the level of Samashti, this starting with this verse. So now Prabhu. Prabhu is both the Lord and Atma here. Prabhu prakarshena bhavati. Everyone else also bhavati. Yeah, because I also bhavami. When did you come? And then what date will be given. I was born on such and such a day, at such and such a time. Here is my horoscope to prove it. Here is my horoscope. I was born at such and such a day. Today is my birthday. Did you wish me happy birthday? And then the other jivas oblige. And then what do? They also wish many happy returns. Keep coming back. Keep coming, keep being born. Happy Punarjanma to you. Many happy returns means. Don't say that, okay? Happy birthday, okay, if you must. So, this is the origin of the jiva. The jiva thinks, I am a limited finite entity, born at such a time, born at such and such a day. This is pure falsehood. So what is the reality? Atma is Prabhu. Next one, Vibhu. Both Prabhu and Vibhu are the names of the Lord, are the names of I. Why Prabhu? Because it's bhavanam, so to speak. There is no bhavanam for it. It is bhavana rahitam. It has no origins. That's why prakarshena bhavati means it is there all the time. It does not come into being like the body comes into being, like the mind sense complex comes into being. It is always there. It is ever the same. It may take on many bodies, but it does not undergo any change. It has no effect whatsoever. And so, na kartritvam srijati. So srijanam, the creation. The creation is more of a projection. It's not so much a srishti, creation, as much as it is abhivyakti, manifestation. It is not a creation. What is it? Manifestation. So the manifestation is what? It is manifest, unmanifest, demanifest, manifest, unmanifest. So it goes from manifest to unmanifest. And so this Prabhu, this Atma, this Ishvara, one and the same, it's a Mahavakya here, Nasrijati. This do worship is not part of the creation. For who? For the people. So you cannot blame Bhagavan. You have made me into Karta. Bhagavan will say, please look at the 14th verse of chapter 5. Bhagavan will give you this verse. Na kartritvam srijati prabhuhu, na karmani srijati prabhuhu. And then karmani here, very interesting. So karmani, karma, karmani, karmani. So what is karmani? What is karma? Karma means what? Action. What else does karma mean? Result of action. What else does karma mean? Papa punya, yes. Here this is what it is. Object, sense we have to take. Neither the agency, so kartritvam is first case, agency, and neither what? Object Lokasya, lokasya means not Brahmaloka, Devaloka, lokasya, the collective noun like Janasya. So for the people, Prabhuhu Srijati. So the Lord, the Atma, this consciousness is, it does not create what? Brahman does not create. Does not create what? Do worship, agency. And then what is agency connected to? Objects. So, I eat mango. What is mango in the sentence? Karma. And what am I? Karta. So, the karta is always in relation to object. What kind of objects? Desirable objects. Very interesting connection. Kartuhu Ipsitatamam karma. This is actually Paninian Sutra. The most desirable object makes me into karta. Undesirable, later we can see that's but really speaking, what makes the karta come out and play? The connection to desirable object, and then all the other cases come along. I eat the mango with my mouth, karanam, and then I eat the mango for the sake of self-satisfaction. So that is the fourth case. I eat the mango that has fallen from the tree. Fifth case. I eat my mango, not yours. Sixth case. I eat the mango that has fallen on the ground. Seventh case. Like this, all the other cases come later. What gives birth to the karta is what? Desirable objects. This is really amazing. It's just a fantastic verse. Absolutely mind-blowing verse. Desirable objects make, that's what gives birth to the karta. Then we can sing happy birthday, O karta. Why? Because one is in proximity to desirable, the most desirable objects. So now, why is it said kartuhu ipsitatamam karma? Why is it said most desirable objects? Because when the more desirable the object, the more the pressure to go get them. Right? Now, the more desirable it is, the more the pressure. So, ipsita tamam means the most desirable object, means the greatest amount of pressure to go get the object for myself. So, that is what is that is how the karta is born. So, the karta is born by what? By regarding the objects as desirable. And what is that? Desirability means what? Raga, dvesha. Desirability, undesirability. So the karta is born due to the thinking of myself as invested with preferences and prejudices. So the identification with the preferences and prejudices make the objects desirable or not so desirable, and as a result of their desirability, I undergo a change. I now become karta. Why? Because I can't sit quietly when there are objects of desire. When there are objects of desire, what do I want to do? Go get them. So that is what? Action. So therefore, we cannot blame it on Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the seat of all kartrutvam, we cannot say. Bhagavan is karayita, we cannot say. This shloka makes it very, very clear. So the objects and the agent, neither the agent nor the objects have been put together by the Lord. And then what else? And if the agency is cannot be attributed to the Lord, and if the objects of desire. If desirability cannot be attributed to the Lord, what else? Na karma sanga, no, what was that? Na karma phala sanga, phala samyogam. Na karma phala samyogam cha srijati. So the joining between sanyoga, the coming together, the joining of what? Karma and karma phala. Action and result of action, they are always connected. That also the Bhagavan is free of. Bhagavan is free of being actor. Bhagavan is free of being the one who causes there to be some kind of a connection between action and result of action. Bhagavan is not the doer. Bhagavan does not cause you to do for anyone, for all the people, praja, for the praja. And then, so Bhagavan is totally free. Only then I can be free. If Bhagavan is caught in all the kartritva, karmani, etc., first case, second case, etc., then the verse 424 will become useless. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena gantavyam. All this will go waste. And so therefore, I have to scrub off the doership, that coat which I had hung, the weighted coat, full of all the burdens and pains and sorrows that doership brings. Which is what does doership bring? Just sorrow, guilt. Why did I not do this properly? Why only I have to do this? Guilt, resentment, hurt, pain. Hurt and pain are caused by other people's omissions and commissions towards me. So first I have my own omissions and commissions. Why did this person do this? Why did I do this? Why did I not do this? Then we have to deal with other people's omissions and commissions. Why did they do this to me? After all I have done for them. You have to add that masala at the end. How much I have done for them? After all I have done, look at what they did. Okay, next time what? They did not do. That also, see, how can by omission you can feel sad? Possible. They did not wish me happy birthday. They did not wish me at all. Whole day I appeared in front of them. And then somebody else had given me a present. I paraded the present in front of their nose, literally. Look, 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 look. And they just said, wonderful, enjoy your gift. That's all they said. They didn't say, how come people are giving you gifts? No, they didn't ask, how could they do this? How could they not do this? This becomes the source of my hurt. My own omissions and commissions are the source of my guilt. Other people's omissions and commissions directed towards me become the source of pain, sorrow and hurt. And so therefore, here both of those karma phala sanyoga, kartritvam, karayitritvam, everything has been negated. Everything has been negated in the first three padas. Na kartritvam srijati prabhuhu lokasya. So lokasya na srijati means swayam also for himself also Bhagavan does not have, himself, herself also Bhagavan does not have kartritva buddhi, does not have connection. So all that weighted coat which I put on Bhagavan turns out is not burdened by that at all. Why? It is a invisible coat. Bhagavan knows that. Bhagavan knows that. Bhagavan lent the hand just so that you could be free of this weighted coat. Weighted but invisible coat. And then, so, na karma phala samyogam. The connection between karma and karma phala is also not there. All right, then where is it? So I'm tired of saying it's not hearing, it's not here, it's not there. But it should be somewhere. What is it? Doership, enjoyership, experiencership. Doership, done-in-ship, all these ships, they have to dock somewhere. Where is their anchor? For doership, for receivership, kartritva, bhoktritva, for experiencership. Where is it? You say it is not in the Atma, it is not in I. Okay, I went along with you. I thought it is in Bhagavan. Now you say it's not even in Bhagavan. Somewhere it must be. All this Vedanta makes things disappear. While holding it in the hand, makes it disappear. Like even our trusty pot. After a long time. Yeah. So the pot. What is this? Somebody said clay. So, if you said clay, what is this now? Clay. What happened to the pot? Disappeared. I don't need long sleeves. I should take out a smaller plot. Two for the price of one. Okay. So, what is this? Clay. So then I have to hide the pot. I have to have I'm very bad at magic. Okay. Only this kind of magic we can do. So then I say, see, look. No pot. I don't have to go through all that and then try to catch the pot. No pot. I don't have to do all that. While even showing the pot, it is what? No pot. It is clay. Why is it clay? Because I smell it. What am I smelling? Pot or clay? Yeah. I weigh it. What am I weighing? I look at the color. Color belongs to clay. Then what is this pot? Invisible. Yes, like your kartrutvam, it's invisible pot. I don't need any magic, any other, what should I say, some sleight of hand, some covering agent. I don't need. Why? Right in the face of it, while making it completely visible, you deem it as non-existent. Dependent reality. If it is dependent reality, it is non-existent on its own. On its own, it does not have a leg to stand on. It is totally dependent on clay. I can go so far as to say it is nothing but clay. And in fact, the clay undergoes some vikara because of the kiln. What is this kiln? The oven in which it is baked. The clay undergoes some vikara, but the gold and the ornaments, no vikara at all. Every 1 million ornaments, how many gold? 1 gold. That's why never invite a Vedanta teacher to open your jewelry shop, to inaugurate your jewelry shop. Yes. That's what happened to Pujya Swamiji. Swamiji, please come and inaugurate my jewelry shop. Swamiji said, I don't know how to inaugurate a jewelry shop. I have never done it before. No, please come. You cut the ribbons. And so cut the ribbons it was all arranged nicely, and then ribbons were cut, and then they went inside, did a little puja, and the bhakta who invited Swamiji said, with folded hands on his knees, please take one thing. Because you have come, I want to give you one thing. Pujya Swamiji did not want anything. But what he wanted to give him was a free Vedanta lesson after the inauguration. So he said, are you sure? Yes, please take one thing. Okay, I'll take all the gold, which is one thing, because everything is what? Gold, 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 gold. Earring section, gold, 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 gold. Bangle section, gold, 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 gold. Chain section, gold, 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 gold. All other sections, gold, 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 gold. Let's roll up all this gold. I take the gold, you keep the ornament. It would have been the shortest lived shop in history, because as soon as Swamiji went with the gold, he would have to do what? Close the shop. Fortunately, it was a Vedanta lesson, so then everybody understood this. But this is what it is, one gold. All these other things are just what? Name and form. So the invisible cloak which I have hung on Bhagavan is very much like the gold, like the pot. It's kartrutva buddhi, it is the notion. Buddhi here is not intellect, it's the notion. It is a notional do-worship. It's a notion of do-worship which leads to the ocean of samsara. The ocean therefore is but a notion, and the notion has to be resolved. And before it is resolved, the Bhagavad Gita says, you have to peg it somewhere. Where shall we peg it? Bhagavan has said, no, I am not Karta. And the enlightened Atma has also said what? Don't pin the Kartritvam on me. It doesn't belong there. So what is the donkey? The donkey where we can pin the tail of the Kartritvam is given in the last pada. Swabhavastu pravartate. Swabhava is a code word for Ajnanam, Maya. Maya in the form of Avarna Shakti. Very, very, very interesting. Now the plot thickens. Now, till now, only Jiva, Ishvara we had been dealing with. Jiva we had been dealing with. Ishvara kind of came along here with the word Prabhu. And then what else? Now Maya has also come into the picture. In the 7th chapter, maybe 7th or 8th verse, you can look and tell me, Daivi hyesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Which verse? 14th verse, yeah. 14th verse of the 7th chapter. So, there it is going to be talked about at length. The 7th chapter is going to be talking about this Maya Shakti, which was introduced where? In the 4th chapter, Atma Mayaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. 4th verse or something? Please read that. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. By my own Shakti, I am born in a magical way, like even this pot. And like I am born in a magical way, keeping my Maya under control. Which verse is that? 8th verse, chant that. Ay sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge janma karma cha me divyam. Further it's going to be saying. And then it is not, it is a magic. So Maya is what? Magic companion of Brahman. Why? Because Brahman is incapable of doing anything. No change, we saw that. No kartritvam, we saw that. No karayitritvam, we saw that. Still there are all kinds of changes we see in the Jagat. We see Shadvikara even in our own body. We see 6 forms of changes. From babyhood to geriatry to diseases to all these things, and then birth to death. We see so many changes. But then we also say simultaneously Atma is free of all the changes. And so how did this changeless Atma, how out of this changeless Atma has come the changing Jagat? How is this possible? Yes? 6th shloka, yes, that's what it is. Ajo pisannavyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san praktim swamatisthaya sambhavamya mayaya. This Atma Mayaya, that word Maya is important. 6th shloka, mark that here, because the word Maya first time is introduced in the 4th chapter, and here it is alluded to in the 5th chapter, and in the 7th chapter it's going to be explained in detail what this Maya is all about. And so, going back to our discussion, so this Maya Shakti is magic. Magic wand of Bhagavan is called Maya Shakti. So, where did this Maya come from? That question is not valid. Oh, so many questions are not valid. Where did Kartritva come from? Not valid. Where did Jagat come from? Not valid. Where did Maya come from? Not valid. What is this Vedanta? Everything is being invalidated. That's exactly what Vedanta is. All notionals, invalidation is taking place. So, where did Maya come from is not valid because Maya is not a real entity. If it were a real entity, we could say that it has a place of origin. It is Kalpita Shaktihi. It is an as though entity. See, here we started with as though. And we are ending the class also with what? As though. It's an as though entity which as though invests this actionlessness Brahman with the power to create, sustain and take back this whole thing called the Jagat. An as though entity. For whom is this discussion of the as though entity important? For the Jnani or the Ajnani? Ajnani. Why? Because the Ajnani, along with the invisible, is very attached to the invisible coat of, the weighted coat of Kartritva Buddhi, and the Ajnani is also invested in the Jagat. Because the Jagat is a mine, a gold mine for the Ajnani to take out objects of desire, to work and dig, and then keep on harvesting objects of desire. So the Jagat becomes very important for who? Ajnani. And the Ajnani, who is a Jnani wannabe, the one who wants to be a Jnani, somehow by mistake finds an ashram and goes there and starts to learn. And then for that Ajnani to tell there is really no Jagat, he'll get a shock, okay? Yeah. And the ashrams do not have defibrillators. Clear. Clear. You can't do that. Okay? So the jiva will get a shock because the very seat on which the jiva is sitting, the very shastra which the jiva is learning, and the guru which the jiva is going, bho guru, are all non-existent, separate from me, they are not there, it's all me, that the jiva cannot stomach. The jiva will have a terrible case of Vedantic indigestion, the inability to assimilate this knowledge. And the jiva will have a stomachache and go away. And because not knowing why the Jagat exists, why the Jagat was created, what is the purpose of the Jagat? Is it for Bhagavan's Leela? All this is going to be discussed in the Mandukya Karika. Is it for Bhagavan's Leela, Bhagavan's own entertainment? Bhagavan is bored or what? Bhagavan wants, let me create some Jagat and create some crazy people. And then see, that let me call it Loka because it is full of loco people. And then let me see what they do. And then Vishnu is saying, Lakshmi, come, new reality TV channel. Come, let's see. A new show. So, for the sake of one's own Leela, Bhagavan has created the Jagat. Rubbish. Then Bhagavan has created the Jagat. The most efficacious theory that is going around is Bhagavan has created the Jagat as a stomping ground for your karma. Karma means what? Karma phala here. For your karma phala, and then everybody goes, correct, yeah. I have karma and I have karma phala, and then I have to exhaust this karma phala. That's why Jagat is here for me. Yes? Say no just so that I can eat my food in peace. Okay? No. Why no? Because all this time what have we spent doing? Atma has no karma, no karta, no karayita. And now you are saying this is my stomping ground and that's why Jagat is made? No, that theory also we have to put aside. You have to put aside for the theory, that theory of the origin of the Jagat. Then what else is left? So many other things. Out of boredom, Bhagavan created, out of need for entertainment, out of what is that? Shishta prarabdha of all the jivas have prarabdha, and then that's why it is created. All these are just like the coat peg. The explanations revolving the Jagat. You will see all this in the second chapter of the Karika of the Mandukya called Vaitathya Prakaranam, where all this is just going to get a blow, a major blow. All this is just going to be, these arguments are going to be made threadbare. What is the reality? The Jagat is non-separate, it's an as-though projection, like even one's own dream. So why did you have this dream? Oh, because I was bored. Will you say that? No. Then why did you have this dream? Because I was wanting a stomping ground for my dream karma. Real karma also in waking karma doesn't exist. What to talk of dream karma? So why did you have this dream? What is the correct answer? What dream? Why is there this Jagat? What is the correct answer? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.